A GoPro Max mounted on a climbing helmet captured something on February 4th, 2026 at 2:14 p.m. that should not exist in nature. What you're about to see defies every established principle of North American predator hierarchy. This is 100% real footage, and the climbing route where this was filmed has been permanently closed by Yosemite National Park rangers as of yesterday. The camera belonged to Sarah Chen, a professional climber with 12 years of experience on El Capitan's vertical walls. She's climbed this route, the nose, 47 times. She knows every crack, every ledge, every shadow on that granite face. But on this particular afternoon, in freezing February conditions, she saw something that made her stop climbing completely, something that shouldn't be alive in winter, something that was feeding. On February 4th, 2026, Sarah Chen was at pitch 17 of the nose, approximately 1,800 feet above Yosemite Valley floor, when her headlamp beam swept across what she initially logged as unusual rock formation with organic matter. The GoPro was recording in 5.3K resolution at 60 frames per second. Every detail was captured. Temperature reading from her watch, 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Wind chill, 19 degrees. Here's what we know from the footage and the emergency biosecurity investigation that followed. If you want real-time updates as this story develops, because trust me, this investigation is just beginning. Subscribe now. Federal wildlife officials are involved, and new information is being released every day. Let me walk you through exactly what Sarah's camera recorded. Have you ever wondered just how strong spider silk is? We all know it's tough, but the reality is mind-blowing. Recently, a wildlife camera captured an incredible scene. A curious young mountain lion cub, full of playful energy, got tangled in the web of a golden orb weaver spider. You'd think the cub would tear through it in a second, right? Wrong. The little predator struggled, yelping in confusion as the silk held firm. It took several frantic minutes for it to finally break free, completely baffled by the sticky, surprisingly strong trap. Scientists have long known that on a pound-for-pound basis, spider silk is stronger than steel. But seeing it hold up against a mountain lion cub, even a small one, is a stunning real-world demonstration. But that's not the end of the story. Researchers studying this specific spider population have discovered a new biological anomaly. These spiders are producing a silk variant with a previously unknown protein structure, making it even more resilient than what we've documented before. This discovery could revolutionize material science, from medical sutures to lightweight armor. What other secrets are hiding in plain sight? Thanks for watching. If you found this as fascinating as I did, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible nature stories. Let's break down exactly what happened, frame by frame, because the details are where this footage becomes genuinely disturbing. At timestamp 2:14:33 p.m., Sarah's headlamp illuminates a dark mass approximately 6 feet in diameter. She's seen bird nests on this wall before. She's seen bat colonies, moss formations, even lichen clusters. This is different. The structure has geometric precision, layered, reinforced, built with architectural intent. Wait till you see what happens at the 7-second mark of the zoomed footage. The camera stabilizes, and you can see movement inside the structure. Not wind movement, not the jerking motion of something already dead. Contraction, wrapping, the deliberate motion of something still in the process of feeding. Sarah described the webbing in her emergency radio call to base camp as metallic-looking, almost silver like steel cables. Later analysis would confirm her instincts were horrifyingly accurate. The substance is a biological polymer with a crystalline internal structure never before documented. Lab tests from samples Sarah collected, yes, she had the presence of mind to take samples even while terrified, show a tensile strength 2.4 times greater than Darwin's bark spider silk. They're calling it biosteel in the preliminary reports. Now here's where the footage gets worse. At timestamp 2:15:09, Sarah adjusts her position and the camera angle shifts. You can see the prey clearly now. Tan fur, black-tipped tail, the distinctive facial markings of a mountain lion cub, likely 3 to 4 months old based on size estimates from the zoomed footage. Its eyes are still open. The animal is still breathing. But it gets worse. Because at timestamp 2:15:41, Sarah's camera captures the predator itself. Nothing in the North American arachnid catalog matches what emerges from the upper section of the nest. Body length, estimated between 9 and 11 inches, not including leg span. Leg span, conservatively estimated at 22 to 24 inches, based on comparative measurement against known crack widths in that section of the nose. Coloration, matte black, with what Sarah described as dark red striping that looked almost like bloodstains, but too symmetrical, too patterned. The specimen moves with disturbing confidence across the vertical granite. No hesitation, no slow, cautious spider movement. This thing navigates the freezing rock face like it owns it. Dr. Marissa Khalil, lead arachnologist brought in by the National Park Service, stated in her preliminary report, "If this footage is authentic, and all forensic analysis suggests it is, we are looking at either an undocumented species, or more disturbingly, a recent evolutionary divergence that occurred rapidly, possibly within the last decade." Wait till you see what the thermal imaging revealed. When the Park Service deployed a drone with thermal cameras to the site on February 6th, 2 days after Sarah's discovery, they found heat signatures. Plural. The nest Sarah discovered wasn't alone. The spider was maintaining an internal nest temperature of 68 degrees Fahrenheit, using a biological mechanism we still don't understand, in 28-degree weather, on exposed granite. That level of thermoregulation is unheard of in arachnids. Let me address what you're thinking right now. How did a spider catch a mountain lion cub in the first place? That's the question that kept me awake going through this footage. Mountain lion cubs don't climb vertical rock faces. They stay with their mothers in dens, in forests, in protected territory. But here's what investigators found when they backtracked the cub's origin. Scratch marks on granite 60 feet above the nest site, not below, above. The cub didn't fall into the web. The web was deployed upward, ballistic webbing, like a net gun, but biological. One of the rangers described it as a webbing projectile system. The spider can apparently launch reinforced silk strands upward with enough force and accuracy to entangle prey significantly larger than itself. This isn't passive web-weighting predation. This is active hunting. This changes everything we thought we knew about the predator-prey dynamics in Yosemite National Park. Dr. Khalil's team has now confirmed through DNA analysis of web samples that this species has no genetic match in any existing database. It's not a mutation of a known species. It's not an invasive species that hitchhiked from another continent. It's genuinely new. But the most shocking part is the timeline. Because when they carbon dated the webbing structure Sarah found, they discovered it was built within the last 6 weeks. This species appeared, or at least began exhibiting this behavior, in the middle of winter 2026. Why now? Why this year? Dr. Khalil is careful with her words, but in a leaked voice memo to her research team, she said, "We need to consider the possibility that climate disruption isn't just changing habitats. It might be triggering rapid evolutionary responses in species we thought we understood." The environmental conditions in Yosemite this winter have been unusual. Warmer average temperatures, then sudden deep freezes, inconsistent snowpack. Prey animal migration patterns disrupted. Maybe this species has always been there, hidden in cracks and caves, operating at a scale we never noticed. Or maybe something changed. Maybe pressure, environmental, territorial, food scarcity, pushed a borderline species into a new ecological niche. And that niche is vertical predator. Remember at the start when I said the climbing route was closed? That was just the beginning. As of February 11th, yesterday, 3 additional nest sites have been confirmed on El Capitan using drone thermal imaging. 2 on the nose route, 1 on the Salathe wall. All of them show the same heat signature profile. All of them appear to be active. The Park Service hasn't announced this publicly yet, but based on internal documentation I've reviewed, they're considering a temporary closure of all technical climbing routes on El Capitan. They need to assess whether these specimens pose a threat to human climbers. Sarah Chen, to her credit, wants to go back. She's working with Dr. Khalil's team to document the species, to understand it, and figure out if it's dangerous or just adapting. But here's the thing that keeps me up at night. On February 9th, a hiker reported seeing something large and dark moving across the granite near Bridal Veil Fall. Not a bear, not a climber. Something that moved wrong. Something with too many legs. That report was filed and ignored. Until now. If you want updates as this investigation develops, subscribe, because I'll be covering every new finding, every new nest site, every piece of evidence that comes out of Yosemite. This story isn't over. It's just starting. And the next video is going to show you what the second nest was feeding on. You won't believe it.